The family of iconic Hawaiian waterman Eddie Aikau is mourning the deaths of a father and his young son following an apparent murder-suicide this morning. Police were called to a home in Paoa. It's the same property where surf legend Eddie Aikau grew up. When officers got there, they found the body of a 42-year-old man hanging from a tree, and a 7-year-old boy was found dead inside a home on the property.
Relatives lived in the adjoining building, so they were actually home at the time, and they made the initial discovery, but the unit that they were actually in, nobody else lives in the residence.
Family members identified the man as Gerald Aikau and his son as Reef. Bridget Namata joins us now with more. Bridget?
Joe, as you mentioned earlier, we are on the property where surf legend Eddie Aikau grew up. The family has gathered today to mourn the double tragedy of a young boy, 7 years old, and his father, who they say was working through issues.
The Aikau family identifies the victims as Gerald Aikau and his son Reef. The question is why? The family acknowledges Gerald had issues both legally and mentally.
He just had some family issues, his own, you know how we all have our own families and stuff. He had his own family issues that he had to deal with, you know, being married, and he had children and stuff, and he's been seeking help from the doctors and everything. And Gerald was just like a really good boy, but he had so much problems, and he tried to settle it by himself, and I don't know what happened.
Court documents give a glimpse into Gerald and his estranged wife Catherine's relationship. Both were in the middle of divorce proceedings. Catherine filed restraining orders against her estranged husband, citing physical abuse. Catherine also writes that she planned a trip to Europe with their son Reef for his summer vacation, but Gerald refused to help secure their son's passport. She writes that she has immediate safety concerns for my son. The wife also claims that her husband was mentally ill and was using illegal drugs. Court documents detail that Gerald had recently undergone a drug treatment program. Despite the legal issues, the Aikau family insists Gerald was a good man.
It's very unfortunate. Our family is always in the media, but at this time, this is a whole nother realm of, it's a different beast. We like to remember them for who they were, remember the good times, the good days, and just reflect on that and nothing else.
He was working really hard, trying to solve his problems, and get himself together.
Court records also show a pending criminal case for abuse of a family member. That hearing was coming up soon. As for the wife, we're told Catherine has been out of the country. Reporting live from Paoa, Bridget Namata, KHON 2 News.
In May of last year, police say a Big Island man shot and killed his wife and children. Investigators say John Hoffman called police, claiming intruders entered his home in Leilani Estates. He was seen driving away when police arrived. Officers found the body of Hoffman's wife in the trunk of his car and the bodies of his 7-year-old daughter and 5-year-old son in the home. His trial is set for August. And in July of 2005, 5-year-old Talia Williams was murdered by her father after years of abuse. Her dad, former Wheeler Army Airfield soldier Naeem Williams, was sentenced in 2015 to life in prison. Talia's death sparked a law aimed at protecting children of military families. A domestic violence expert says everyone has a role to play in preventing these types of tragedies, and it starts with listening and noticing red flags. Howard Geshefsky is digging deeper. Howard?
Well, Joe, we spoke earlier today with Nancy Creedman of the Domestic Violence Action Center, who calls this a robust domestic violence case. Court documents show that Aikau's wife, as you heard a moment ago, had filed a temporary restraining order against him, and that the couple were involved in issues. There were criminal cases pending against him. Creedman says there are warning signs that all of us as a community, or family members or friends, need to look out for to prevent future tragedies such as one like this.
So if I see something in your family or your marriage or your relationship that is troublesome to me, all I can do is mention it to you and ask you to think about it. That's what we have to do for one another. When a father kills his child, that's domestic violence. This is a robust domestic violence case. We've got to call the crimes what they are. Systems got to work together. The community's got to name it. Families and supporters and allies have got to understand what the level of potential lethality is so we can prevent the loss of lives.
Creedman says if you think or even suspect that somebody may be a victim of domestic violence, ask them about it and don't be afraid to reach out and contact authorities. You can also reach out to the Domestic Violence Action Center for help. We posted their number on our website. Joe?